Voila. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna, I usually wet this down at this point, and I'm gonna run over here and do that. Don't go anywhere, hold on. Okay, got it. Wet her down, brush her out. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about this unit 2. So when I went to order this HD 111, it was going to be quite a while before I got it. So I thought, what's up with that? So I call, and so because so many of you guys have bought this HD 111 unit, they got a little high demand for it, which is a great thing. And so I called them and I said, okay, how long before I get it? Because I really needed it. So the only thing I could get was, I think this is a level 4 as far as the darkness of it, but it's like a 70% gray. This sucker is gray. It's human hair gray, and I don't think I've had a human hair one before. So that's going to be interesting. And I have done them even 80% gray before, if that's just the mood I'm in. And what I do, and I'm telling you this because you need to know, I've already said how picky I am about things, but even within that, I'm not OCD about it, but within that, whether there are times that I need a unit quick and I don't have weeks to wait for it. So I would normally get like a level 5 with 40% gray. I have had a level 6 with 20% gray. I have had a level 3 with 60% gray. So the more gray it is, the darker I go as far as the color is concerned. Okay, you can see my hair. What hair I have left on the sides, I've got this strip of relatively dark hair that's just got a little bit of gray in it. I would say it's probably only about 30% gray in all of this, if that much. Then, of course, at the temples and around the edge, all the way around, it's like really gray. And then, of course, I've got this beard that's white. And so if I get one, and sometimes I just want to rock gray hair. I just want to do something different, just for the fun of it, because if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. So this is fun. So I'll get one that's a lot grayer. So what I do is I leave the sides of it longer, to where the sides of the unit comb down in to my natural hair, my natural dark hair. And I will texture it out around the edges. I'm a barber, so I have that advantage. And I have somebody coming I'm not in the business of doing this. I'm in the business of cutting your hair. And I really wasn't looking for business as far as, the hair system business at all. I just want to help you accomplish it, and for you to be able to do it yourself and save you a buttload of money in the process. And with Super Hair Pieces, they are so affordable and their units are so quality. And I've tried several of them. This is hands down by far HD 111, my go-to and the one that I love. So with the color, I've done all those different variations. So when it's really gray like this one is, I'll just leave some down and let it comb down into I'll kind of comb it back and let it comb down into my dark hair so it'll blend there. The hardest problem is in the very back, because it comes down and you don't want to see this where the unit sits, because the color's so different than all this dark hair I have in the back. So I will make it really thin in the back, to where some of this gray hair comes down into my dark hair, and very jagged across the back, very textured up into it. So by the time it gets to the end of the unit hair, it's pretty thin and it's just laying in with my dark hair. And so naturally, 90% of people are gonna gray And the last place to gray is going to be the nape of the neck in the very back. And so it's not uncommon at all to see somebody that's got completely gray hair and still dark hair right back here, dark hair right at the nape of the hair at the back, neckline at the back. And so you can do it to where, I can do it to where it will blend and it'll look all right. But with that being said, I don't mind the edgy look of that. Oh, there's that. And I'll leave it long, very retro 40s. I'll leave this long, probably this one today. I'm not going to cut much off the front. It's probably going to come down to my top lip that long and then get shorter as it goes back. But I'll comb all that back, and I don't mind that. There are pictures on Super Hair Piece's website of me with one very gray like this, and it's just kind of combed back. I like it. And so that's what's just going to happen this time. All right, so now I'm going to take scissors, and I think I'm going to hold this baby down again. Again, that's in the part of the unit that I'm cutting off, so no worries. Like that. And then this you need to be careful. I think Alexa thought I was talking to her. Don't say anything. So you want to come in here.
Thanks for telling me.
And you want to shoot these shears right up under all the hair in this system, because there again, you do not want to cut it. Hold on, I need different scissors. See which one of these are going to be the ticket. Not those. Probably these. Those are my hair cutting scissors, and they're pretty dull, and they still cut hair great, but boy, they don't like cutting this unit. Somehow these cheap scissors work better for me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Nothing to it. La, la, da, da. Do, do, do. Feel love. Okay, looking good. Grab this and yeah. So I'm gonna get right inside my marker, and I'm gonna put just a little pressure, pushing it up into the top of the unit. Being careful to not cut, to slide right through the hair so that I am not cutting any of it. See, this part is, yeah, a little time consuming. And the first time you do it, I promise you, you're gonna go, oh, I'm gonna screw something up. I've paid money for this thing and I'm gonna mess it up. Just be careful. And I'm not gonna lie, for me, it was definitely, and for anybody, it's gonna be a learning curve. But I mean, we're smart enough to do this. This is not rocket science. I'll just tell you right now, it is not. Now, I understand that if I were to go somewhere to have this done, it's not going to be cheap, because they've got to measure your bald spot, they've got to order your hair, they've got to make a template, they've got to prepare your scalp, they've got to make all these adjustments, and here you are, a paying customer, and they realize, okay, this is going to be so different, because even though you don't like being bald, all of a sudden seeing your hair on your head, you're going like, oh crap, And a lot of times people go, oh, they start mashing it down and they say, oh, can we make it flatter? Because they're not used to that. And so it not only is a transition as far as going from not having hair to hair, it's the thought process of, okay, how do I want my hair to look? And many times people will say, okay, when I had hair, this is how I wore it. Well, I don't want my hair to look the way it did back when I had hair, because I'm 67, right? So back when I was 20, I had an afro, for Pete's sake. So you have to be open-minded to say, okay, I'm going to look different and it's going to be okay. So the person doing your hair is like, oh, are they going to like it? Are they going to freak out when they see how they look with hair again? One more little snip and we are finished. All right, here we go, guys. Whoops. And there it is. Cut and ready to flop on my head. Now Omer looks just the way I do. Hip. Hip. So I cut that part off. And I thought, do I need my beard to look thicker? I could probably. There we go. All right, now that I've got this cut, it will be time for me to give it a haircut. Let's see how long the front of this one is. So you have any questions so far, leave them in the comments. I can certainly answer that the best I can. I hope I've been fairly thorough in the process of it. I mean, I just did it kind of right before your eyes, so there's nothing hidden. And so I plan on leaving all the flaws and maybe edit. There's a little gap in it when I had to go get a couple of things, but so you see exactly what it takes to make it happen. So questions. What did I do that you don't think you can do? Nothing. Most of you are probably smarter than I am. And so you probably will need to purchase this wig head at like a beauty supply, or you can order it from Super Hair Pieces. And you might be fine to hold this thing in your lap, or you might want to get one of these things to put it on, which really helps to hold things in place so you can kind of see what you're doing and not have to worry about holding this. So I talked to you about doing the template, and I'll show you the process of that at one point if you need to see it, but that's not rocket science either. Again, saran wrap over your head, tie it under here. Don't pull it too tight, because that saran wrap will stretch, and then when you untie it, it'll go, and so you're going to have a smaller representation than what you really planned on. So get it tied under your chin, but don't pull on it and stretch it. Just get it where it's secure enough to stay put. Then trace the outline of your bald spot, get the Scotch tape, make the template, cut it out, put it on your head, make sure it looks okay, and then put that template on top of the hair system while it's still on that plastic base. Cut that front edge off the way you like it. Put this on there, mark it, cut it out. Stay under the hair, don't cut any hair, and I did a great job of that. Nothing is cut or looking bad. So we are good there. I may have just a little bit of that front edge that I need to trim off a little bit more. Be careful about that. But that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do from this point on is I am going to, here's the back of the unit. Obviously, I told you about leaving that longer and thinner to comb into my dark hair, but I don't need a ponytail. I don't need all of that. So I will really chisel into all of that to texture and shape that to where it's going to fit and look good. And the sides, I'm a little concerned with this particular unit. Even though with Super Hair Pieces, I find them to be really consistent, but I think it's because this one is so gray and it's human gray. The hair on it doesn't seem to be quite as thick as normal. But a lot of times when I think that, after I get it cut on my head and I'm going, what was I thinking? That's thick as can be, and it looks great. So that's probably going to be the case. But super hairpiece is always good about that stuff. So I'm going to just cut it around. Now, if you are home and you get this thing as far as I've gotten it right now, and you think, well, I've got to get it on my head, right? And so I'll come back with continue the video on how to actually install it on your head in the next chapter, I guess, if you will. But what you can do is get it just like this, stuck on your head, comb it back, you know, get it wet, comb it back, maybe put a little gel in it or something, and just slick it back. And you can actually go out and about with it that way. And don't be afraid with this long butt tail in the back, don't be afraid to just grab that and kind of pull it together and snip about 3 inches of that off, because I promise you're not going to need that. You are not going to need that. That way you can slick it all back, get to your hairdresser, or call me. I can cut it in for you. I'd be happy to. Rick's Hair Company, Cleveland, Texas. Okay. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. It's a good world. Life full of hope, happiness, and hair. It can happen. Let's do this, guys. Again, I will say, you know, I asked the question back when I went to realized I was losing my hair. I promise you I didn't say, oh, wait, you mean going bald is an option? I'm going to take that one. No, I'm thinking, please tell me I'm not losing my hair. If there was an option to be bald or keep my hair, which one of us would not say, I'm going to keep my hair? So with that thought in mind, when it comes to the idea of this, realizing that the only hair pieces you notice are bad ones, the ones that are good, you don't. I hear people all the time tell me, I'll tell you what, if I didn't know you wore that, since I've chosen to tell the world, if I didn't know you wore that, I wouldn't be able to tell it. It's just unbelievable. I tell you what, I am blown over with comments from people that say, get up close and personal with me, said, Rick, that's just the craziest thing I've ever seen. They look at that hairline, they can't see anything but hair coming out of my head. So with the thoughts of, I would choose to keep my hair, so why don't we still choose to do that? There's a stigma associated with these things, and I understand, because in days gone by, Lord of mercy, you could spot them a mile away, that's for sure. But guys, those days are over. If you'd really like to have hair, it doesn't bother me to be bald. I shaved my head for, I don't know, several years, completely, all of it gone. I rocked that, you know, let this beard get a little bit longer, and I thought that's fine. And I did this for the fun of it, and I'll tell you what, it's been fun for me. After the first few installs, the first one I did, by some miracle, went absolutely perfect. I pray that be your luck as well. The second time I installed it, everything went wrong. I got hair stuck up under the unit in the glue. That is a mess. And by the time I finished, it was about an hour and a half. And I thought, okay, I don't know about this. But I do know something that I've learned in these 67 years is practice does make perfect. And so I decided, because everybody was making such insane comments about how good it looked, and I'm not stupid, I can look in the mirror and say, you know what, darn, I look better with a little hair on my head. I've got a beautiful wife, and I thought, man, I can do better for her. She does everything she can for me. I mean, she's a classy lady, and her hair's always done. As a matter of fact, it was really long. I've just cut it off to zip, faded up the sides. It's super short. I'll put a picture on at some point. So she's gorgeous. And I thought, man, I don't want some other dude coming over and horning in on my time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my wife's not like that, but so I decided I can look better. So I ordered some hair, and I've been doing it for about 2 or 3 years. And like I said, this is the worst part of it. And if I were not videoing this, I wouldn't be stopping to explain to you what I'm doing and all of that. I'd just zip through it, and it wouldn't really take that much time. And I'm off work today, so I had the time to do it. And but other than that, when it comes to once a week, some people go 1 week, some people go 2, some people go and have a professional install, and it will be like they'll go a month. I don't know how that's possible. Honestly, my scalp's oily, and I just want to wash my head after a week. And you never feel, occasionally it'll itch a little bit if I have ripped it off and not been careful to do that. I've irritated my scalp. That's when I get into a little bit of a problem. But other than that, once a week, it takes me less than 10 minutes to take it off, put it on, and hit the door. So there you have it. All right. Over and out, guys. Peace, hang loose. It's all good. Happiness, hope, hair. Out. Catch you later.